All right, welcome back, DOA players. This will be our fourth video in a series of tips on how to be a better player at Death of Athazar, the card game. I am Mark Dawson, the designer of the game, and in this video, I want to talk about dominant cards. Okay. After playing DOA for a while, I've learned that there are certain cards that you just want to keep in your hand, all right? And we're going to go over the cards that you do not want to pass to another player if you can help it. Sometimes you don't have a choice because of the circumstances, but if you get any one of these 5 cards in your hand, try to keep them in your hand until the last until your last card, or till you're down to your last card, so you can try to win the game with these cards here. In the third video, we talked about cards that are most likely to be passed from your left. So in this video, we're going to talk about the cards that we're going to keep. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious one, which is the Assassin. And I have my little Arabian design deck here for this video. Hope you like it. All right, so the first card is the Assassin. You want to make sure that if you have the Assassin, keep this, because this card can kill all cards with a number on it, except for the Princess, but you'll be silly to kill the Princess anyway. All right. Most people hold on to this card, so don't expect this card to be passed to you from the left. All right. If you see a player down to 2 cards, and just assume that at least one of these cards is the Assassin, because if he has 2 and one of them is the Assassin, he's going to kill that card with the Assassin, and he will win the game. All right. So Assassins are very, very powerful cards. So I don't see any downside to having an Assassin. You know, I think having an Assassin in your hand is just as powerful as having a Princess. Okay, so most people don't pass this around. Most people use this card to kill, and most people win with this card. All right, and remember, there are 7 of these in the deck. But even though there are 7, most people that I play with try to use the Assassin early on to the mid part of the game, so they can hurry up and kill off their hand, so they can get down to that 1 card. And then if they're lucky enough to get one of the last few Assassins that's not in the graveyard, and the graveyard is the cards that are displayed face up on the table after someone makes a kill or a disruption. If they see that there are a lot of Assassins in the graveyard, the person who gets this, they keep this, and if the last 2 cards, pretty much one of their cards is going to be an Assassin. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you see a person with 2 cards in their hand and they're down to the wire, one of them is most likely an Assassin. Okay. The next one is the Merchant. All right, a lot of people love to keep this card only if there are only 2 of them in the deck. Okay, there are 2 merchants in the deck, but people love to keep this because, particularly if you're in a 4-player game and you're one of those players who have a lot of hands in your card, you're definitely going to try to keep this in your hand. And the most, vicious player, if they have this card, what they would do is they would look around after a couple of rounds, and then they would wait until one of the opponents or one of the other players is down to 2 or 1 card, and then they just take this card and just spring it on them, and it forces a trade. Okay. But you have to be careful with the merchant, even though it's kept in your hand. Most people keep this in your hand and they don't pass it around. You have to make sure that you kind of use it pretty fast or quickly, because sometimes if you don't, if you make the wrong move, or if you hold on to it too long, a person who is not to your left or right is going to win the game, and they're going to end up winning the game because you didn't use it in the right amount of time. So, so just be mindful of that. The merchant, I've never won a game with a merchant. I've just only kind of stopped people from winning by using the merchant. And but sometimes you can, with that swap, if you get a good swap, you can your chances of winning gets that much greater. Another card that usually is put down on that's pretty held on is the sorcerer. The sorcerer doesn't get passed around too much unless he is in a situation where he can't be killed off in your hand. And it really doesn't matter because people use him to kind of feed cards to other players. Now, most people don't kill the sorcerer off, even though he can be killed off. The only time I've seen a sorcerer killed off is if he is killed off by the magician in a match. Because most people, if they have 2 sorcerers in their hand, they have a magician, they just go ahead and use the magician to kill off the sorcerer. But the sorcerer is a good card to keep disruption in the game. And it's 4 of these, so the chances of every player in a 4-player game to have at least one of these is pretty good. So it gets used a lot. It gets used a lot. And it's always getting used near the end part of the game, not the beginning. No one kind of uses the sorcerer at the beginning. And then next is the prince. The prince is definitely one you want to keep in your hand until the last minute, because it feeds all the other players a card from the deck, and this gives you a chance to get rid of more cards from your hand and being in a position to have less cards than your other opponents after playing this guy. Okay. The prince is rarely killed off. I've played DOA I played many games, and very rarely have I seen a prince killed off in the graveyard. Okay. He is most likely just used as an effect card most of the time. And then the last one is, of course, the princess, which can be used as any card. It can be used as a magician or a prince or a merchant, whatever. But most people use the princess as an assassin, okay, or a magician, okay, or used in conjunction with a magician. Okay, like say if you have a princess, a magician, and a sailor, okay. Now, a sailor can't kill a magician, but if you use your princess as a sailor, then that will allow you to get rid of the magician, the sailor, and the princess, and you can get rid of 3 cards at the same time. And if you truly want to win a game at DOA, if you have your princess as the last card, you pretty much won the game, because it's no way there's no way someone can stop you with a princess unless, I take that back. Only one situation is if you're being passed a hunter and some other card. All right, but you know, That's just, one of the downsides of the game sometimes. But if you have the princess, though, the chances of you winning the game, if this is your last card, is very, 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 very high. Okay, so these are the cards that people keep in their hands for either killing off or disrupting other players. So I just wanted you to make this video for you to keep that in mind on your decision making on what to pass, what to keep, and when to play these cards. Okay, so that is the fourth tip of Death of Athazar, dominant cards. Try to remember them: Princess, Sorcerer, Assassin, Merchant, and Prince. When you see these cards in your hand, try to find some way to hang on to them as much as possible. Do not kill them off. Do not pass them to your next player. And look around the table to see who has what less cards. And then you'll be in a better position of winning the game. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching this video. We'll come back with another video that's going to kind of use all the tips from video 1 through 4, and we're going to apply all that knowledge to video number 5, which is predicting outcomes. Okay. All right. If you like this video, just go ahead and subscribe down at the bottom. Share on your social media, Facebook, whatever, Vimeo or Instagram, wherever you can find, because we're really trying to make this very easy, family-friendly game a lot more popular. So I will see you in the next video.